what to do, write a sternly worded letter, smoke a doob, or build an elaborate underwater city based on pure capitalism and only invite your mates, where anything goes and nothing is free ever, not even party hats, chocolate, or oral. Option 3 it is then. Rapture, which is the name of the city, is built under the Atlantic Ocean, and for a while it's all fun and games, because what could possibly go wrong? Quite a lot, as it turns out. The first disaster is called Adam, which is the stuff you can make from sea slugs that does to human DNA what crack cocaine did to Charlie Sheen. This rather bright scientist called Bridget Tenenbaum decides she's going to mass produce it. Now, unfortunately Adam is quite hard to make, so what to do, spend years learning how to ethically produce it, smoke a doob, or implant sea slugs in the stomachs of young orphan girls and harvest it that way. She picked option 3, so that's nice, and since Adam is now a commodity, these little girls have to be protected by, enormous semi-mutant, semi-mechanical monstrosities called Big Daddies. Anyway, secret city plus wonder drugs usually equals crime, and who better to run a crime ring than a despicable scallywag called Fontaine, who decides he's going to overthrow Andrew Ryan, the guy who built the city, and he gives it a good go, but it doesn't work out, and apparently he dies. Which he doesn't. Anyway, Fontaine, who is still alive, steals Andrew Ryan's illegitimate son, Jack, imprints him with hypnotic conditioning, and smuggles him to the surface. Then, a few years later, activates him, forcing him back to Rapture, with the aim of getting him to kill his own father, Andrew Ryan, using the phrase, "Would you kindly?" which Jack does. So great job, Jack. You bloody Oedipus Rex. Meanwhile, in a parallel universe, sort of, back in 1912, this religious nut called Zachary Hale Comstock, who had rather close ties to the US government, convinced him to build a massive floating city called Columbia, which originally was supposed to be the US showing off. It had loads of guns and stuff and was all steampunky and hovered thanks to something called quantum levitation, which is like normal levitation, but even more sciencey. Now, who would have thought it, but unexpectedly, a massive floating city with guns decided it was done doing what the US told it, and screw you, Dad, we're off on a gap year. Might not be coming back, actually. They didn't come back. Right away, they got to work improving the city, implementing such brilliant policies as being quite fond of Jesus, wearing lovely hats, and relentless white supremacy. And that worked out just as well as one would expect. As if that wasn't enough, these weird tear things start appearing in reality, which lead to other times and other worlds, and that's all thanks to these two physicists called the Lutesses, who are actually the same person but different genders, who found each other in different universes and are sinisterly British. Now everything's gone a bit Doctor Who, and they've sort of become gods and can now travel through space and time, which is a thing all British people can do, by the way, unfortunately at the expense of our teeth, however. Meanwhile, under the ocean, back in the other universe, Andrew Ryan is dead, Fontaine is also quite dead, and there's a new gunslinger in town who's this kind of batshit psychiatrist chick called Sophia Lamb. And she isn't really into the whole capitalist thing, and it doesn't matter anyway, because Sophia Lamb has been in charge 5 minutes, and now everyone's a mutant, and the city has descended into anarchy. So, 10 points to Gryffindor for that. Anyway, she wants to make her daughter Eleanor an all-round nice gal and send her to the surface, where she'll remodel the world and everything will be cushy and nothing bad will ever happen again, and by golly will there be free party hats, chocolate, and oral. I know this will come as something of a surprise, but it doesn't go entirely as planned. This original Big Daddy that Sophia Lamb tried to kill a while ago isn't actually dead and wakes up again and decides he's going to help Eleanor and yada yada, and does, unless he's a bit mean, in which case the game doesn't have a very nice ending. In any case, Rapture is left without a leader and everyone's gone as mad as a bucket of fucking squirrels. Meanwhile, in the other universe, Zachary Comstock, or Jesus 2 as he likes to be called in bed, can't have kids because of all that sciencing and wants an heir to take over eventually. So what to do? Adopt a child from an orphanage and responsibly parent it, smoke a doob, or visit a parallel universe, steal a child from a non-sterile version of yourself, and accidentally leave her little finger in the original universe, thereby granting her the powers of a god. Option 3 it is then. Her name is Elizabeth, and she can travel between universes at will, a bit like the British physicists, but a touch less patronising and sinister. Meanwhile, the physicists have brought Zachary Comstock's nicer, alternate version of him into the same universe, called Booker DeWitt, who is the real father of Elizabeth, but doesn't know it yet, to sort everything out. Elizabeth hangs out with her dad for a bit, the nice one, I mean. Booker kills Comstock with the old drowneroo. Elizabeth shows him all the other parallel universes, explains that he needs to stop the cycle Comstock started, and the only way to do that is to drown Booker, so he can never become Comstock in the first place, which is a thing that happens. Columbia probably never existed now, Rapture probably exploded, most of the main characters are dead or have been erased from time, and no one got free party hats, chocolate, or oral, because that's what happens when you try to build utopia. So don't.